Hello, guys. Good evening. Hello. Let me see if everyone can hear me. Hello. Hello, guys. Hello, guys from America. Hello, guys from Kardec Radio. Hello, guys from Canada. Hello, guys from Ireland. Hello, guys from the UK. I hope you are all well, guys. Just 1 second here. Let's see if the post, if you guys can hear me properly here. See. Hello. Hello, guys. So the sound is good. It's nice to have you all here, guys. Good evening, all. Steve is not here tonight, guys, so I'm gonna be doing the reading instead of him. So for those who weren't here last week, we are still reading chapter 3. Hello, Leah, how are you doing? Chapter 13, sorry, guys. Do not let your hand know what your right hand is doing. So we are still reading chapter 13 from the Gospel according to Spiritism. And today we're going to be working from item 13, which is actually a continuation of the item 11, beneficence. So we're still talking about charity here. We are still talking about beneficence. We are still talking about a few things that we can do with our free time, with our life, in order to serve more. Okay. Okay, let me see here. Okay, good evening, guys from the UK. I hope everyone is doing well. So it's nice to see you all. Okay, guys, so before we start, we're going to do our initial prayer as usual. So I'd like to invite everyone who feels comfortable to close their eyes, to take a deep breath. Would like to start this study here tonight, thanking God and the good spirits for this opportunity to be here in the Spirit Society of Ireland, talking about God, talking about Jesus, and trying to understand the Gospel according to Spiritism a bit more. We are very thankful for the lives we have and for everything that we have. At the same time, we ask for protection, we ask for inspiration and kindness for the good spirits, from the good spirits, in order to help us tonight. Thank God for everything that we have. Let's start, and so be it. Okay, guys. So, as we were talking last week, we are still talking a lot here about charity. And in this chapter 13, item 13 also, here, the spirits, they give to us several examples of spirits of people who were in the past were practicing charity, okay? So we have to understand that at this time here, when Kardec was helping to write this book with the help from the spirits, we have a lot of poverty around the world, in Europe also. And here he starts to bring to us several examples of people in the past who were living there, and they were helping the poor in the cold, in the damp, in the days where the heating that we have nowadays in our houses that we appreciate so much wasn't something common at all, was something that didn't exist. Unless you're rich, you would have your house in general quite cold. And here he explains to us, he starts to give these examples of people who used to go on the streets and help the poor. But these people who were going to the streets, they weren't like with a flag written there that I'm going to be saving the poor. I'm a good person. No, a lot of times, most of them, Simple people, they used to go out in the streets without no one seeing them, going to the corners of the city where there was no one helping them. There was no help from the government as we have nowadays in some countries, and they were going there to really help and support those in extreme need. Unfortunately, we're still having this around the world, and thank God we are still having people who is doing this. Some institutions nowadays who are doing this. And here it's so nice because we have some examples of old ladies here per se. Once they were going there, they weren't rich, but they gave their time, they gave their charity, they gave their best effort in order to help those in need. And here, you know, it's a quite a beautiful part of the gospel, I believe, because you see some examples which they are very simple, done by simple people, and with so little. And then we ask nowadays, what can I do? Some of us, we are still expecting a lot of times uh, that something big comes up for us in order to do something. Some people, they say, oh, I want to go and help Africa. I want to help the poor in Africa. I want to go and help the poor in Brazil, or doesn't matter which place you are. So they expect for the opportunity, for the call to come to them. And then they expect, let's say, some people, they expect in a dream, in a vision, that they will see what they have to do. And we know that doesn't happen so often, these kind of cases where, let's say, you're going to have a dream, you're going to have a vision with a spirit where it's going to say to you, go and do this. No, life doesn't work like this. I wish it would work like this. But in most of the cases, the spirits, they're going to give to us some intuition and ask ourselves, not ask, but they're going to make ourselves feel a bit uncomfortable, because only feeling uncomfortable once we have a lot, or even if we don't have a lot, let's say if we have a lot, let's just give an example. You have your house, and you have your food there, you have your car, and each day you see that you are throwing food out. Then suddenly you go and see a documentary, a movie, or something like this, and you see that people they are in need. You care, but you don't care much. But once you see close to your place, you start to wonder a bit more. What can I do? So you start to wonder if the little that you have, even if you don't have much, if what can you do with the spare that you have left? Because sometimes we think that we just can help if we have a lot. But here in this chapter, they explain to us that even us, normal people who don't have much, who are not rich, who does not possess millions in the bank, or who doesn't have much instruction, sometimes, we are not all doctors here, I presume, at least not, I am not. Then even us, simple poor people, what can we do with the little that we have? And in this part of the gospel, it shows to us that many people in the past, they did this. They didn't have much, but they went out and at least they tried to give something to the poor. Sometimes they didn't give anything material. Sometimes they went to the poor and they started to chat with them and ask how they were, how was their day, if they have any family left that they maybe could contact or something like this. So this part here, I believe, invites us to do the same, to wonder, what do I have here left which I can help someone? Or even when I'm talking about left, I'm not saying I'm just going to give the leftovers to the poor. No, that's not really the best thing to do. We see that in the chapter 13 here also. But it's saying to us here that sometimes, let's say if you have 10, you don't need 10. So give 2 or 3 to the others. Maybe you're not going to have as much as you would have, you would want, but at least you are sharing whatever you have with someone. So here in the gospel, they say that to us, that try to find a way, because the way is there, it's out there. Try to find a way to help someone. What could be a possible way? Let's say if you are here thinking in practical terms here. I don't know. Depends on where you live, but let's say here in Dublin, if you go on the streets, Perhaps you don't want to give money, as we said before, me and Stevan, because some people, they're going to use drugs or something like this. So you don't want to be part of this. But what you can do, you can go say to the person, hey, good morning, how are you? And guys, I've done this. People, they come to you and they start to talk to you, especially they are in need. Some people, sometimes they are there, they are even thinking about doing some harm to them. Some people, they are there just want some attention from the others. And if you are able to do this, even without a coin, you are practicing charity. We have an example here, which is quite beautiful, when there is a parable here, when two men, they were in heaven, they just passed away, and they brought their bag, full of coins. They are showing to God, God, look, that's what I gave to in the temple. That's what I gave to the poor. The rich man had a bag full of money, full of things that he had given to the others. And God said, yes, you have been giving a lot to the poor. Fair play to you. However, each time that you gave something to someone, you never really wanted to give that to that person. What you wanted the world to say, oh, he's so nice. You just want to show off to the world. You just want to go and appear in high society, explaining that you are a good, trying to say that you're a good man, that you think about the others. But inside in your own private life, you didn't think about them. You didn't care about them. In the other hand, the poor man who just gave maybe a few coins that he had, God says, you have been giving a lot because you gave everything that you had. So you come to this side here. So what we have here, we have people nowadays with a lot of spare things, and we don't realize. And once you pass in the street, some of us, we are still giving some coins to the poor. We are still giving something to them. But sometimes, as it says here in the gospel, that sometimes once you do this, you are not really doing any favor. You are just humiliating them because you don't care for who you are giving and why you are giving. You don't care about the person. You just go there, you give the few coins that you have in your pocket to that person, but you don't look in their eyes. You don't care how that person is. You don't care who that person is. You just give. Because why? Why you give? Because you have that spare coins on your pocket. So this kind of charity, as it says in item 14, is quite humiliating. It's humiliating for those who give because they're not really doing anything good. In fact, okay, maybe you're helping that one with money. It's true. But once you give that money, that person sees that you don't care about them. So that's quite humiliating for the person who's receiving, because that person needs that money to eat. That person cannot refuse. But that person didn't want only your coins. They wanted you at least to look in their eyes or give to them a smile. So that's something that you have to bear in mind, that each time that we try to practice charity, what is the intention on our hearts? Because the intention, as we said last week, is everything here, And sometimes here in the item 14 also, they say to us that we spirits, we can be very charitable also. How we can be very charitable? By not offending the others, by not questioning the others, which kind of belief they have. Sometimes us, especially in Brazil, in the Spiritist movement, especially those who are in the Spiritist movement, there are some people who are quite wealthy. There are some people who are quite well educated, and some people, not all, thank God, they believe they are better than the others. Or even some people in the Spiritist movement who doesn't have many riches, they are not wealthy. They believe they know more than the others, because Spiritism, as we believe, it gives to us a little extra of explanation of everything, gives to us some sense, some logical sense. So what we do, we go to some other brother, we go to a friend that we used to go out with, or even someone in our family, and we think, oh, I'm a Spiritist now. Now I know the Spirit book. I've been studying Allan Kardec. I know quite a lot. And you still believing on this, on that, from the Bible or maybe from other book. That's not true. That's just a fiction, or that's just a parable or something like this. So we go to that person and we try to use our intellect our intelligence to hurt the others. And here it says that once, even if we believe in something that we believe it's true, we believe that makes more sense according to science nowadays, according to the word that we live in nowadays. He says here that we shouldn't be acting like we are the owners of truth, like we possess truth. There is a beautiful part in the Gospel according to Spiritism, but actually it was in the Medium's book, and we believe that this part in specific, it was a message from high voltage spirits. Some people, they even claim that was directly from Jesus, where the message says, the spirit says, spirits love one another. That's the first lesson I'm bringing to you. And study, that's the second lesson I bring to you. So that spirit mentions that we must study. But if you are in Spiritism, we like to study. Maybe we want to know a bit further some existential questions that we have in life. But some people in some other beliefs, some other religion, perhaps, they don't care about this. And that's okay. And he says here that as an spirit, we can practice charity when even the others say something that we don't believe at all, something which for us doesn't make any sense. And instead of fighting, trying to bring arguments to them, we are quiet. We say, oh, okay, that's nice. And we don't say anything. We don't make faces. We don't try to be ironic with them. We just say to them, if you believe on that, that's fine. No problem. So we don't argue. I have to say that I used to do this quite a lot before when I start to study Spiritism, when I start to read the questions from the Spirit's book, which I believe they're quite clear and they're quite substantial. I used to, when I met some friends and that they had different beliefs than me, I used to go and say to them, we used to go and I used to simply try to correct their belief, and that was quite stupid from my side and quite arrogant from my side. Thank God nowadays I tend to don't do this. Whenever I see myself doing this, I try to stop and I try to understand what a spirit called Bezerra de Menezes, who is a spirit that in the Spiritist movement, especially in Brazil, we respect quite a lot. He used to be a deputy or a senator, I don't remember, of Brazil in the 19th century, the beginning of the 20th century, the 1900s. And he said once that Spiritism does not destroy, does not try to convince the other's conscience. It does not try to, force anyone to believe in anything. So each one of us, we are free to believe in whatever we want. And once we are able to respect this, according to the gospel, according to Spiritism, we are practicing charity. We see we are not giving anything to anyone. We are not giving money. We are not giving food. We are not giving shelter. We are not giving a piece of clothes. We are not giving up shoes, a pair of shoes. We are just respecting the other one's opinion. So for us, according to the gospel, according to Spiritism, that's a very good practice of charity also. And we keep going here, sometimes here, also we tend to point fingers to the others. Let's say we have someone that we liked a lot who was, with us, and then that person, disagree with us. Then that person simply do not believe anymore in what we believe. What we tend to do, we tend to point fingers. We say, that person, he's no good. He's not good anymore. He's not a nice person anymore. Because before he used to believe in what I believe, and now he doesn't. And here it says to us in item 14 that we should, not do this. We should respect that person. And where do we see that a lot of times? In the Spiritist house, Casas Espíritas, as we say in Portuguese. Sometimes we have a friend there who was working in the mediums group, or he was working in the healing, or he was giving speeches, as I'm doing here right now. And that person, by any chance, has some issue in their lives, And that person starts to disbelieve in Spiritism, we can put it this way, not because Spiritism is bad, maybe because that person is having a really difficult time in their life, and because of that, they start to doubt God, they start to doubt Spiritism, or it could be another philosophy or religion, they start to doubt their religion, and then, guys, sorry, just 1 second, guys. We are having some technical problem here. So then that person starts to doubt, their. Sorry, guys, just 1 second. Just that person starts to doubt, some technical issue, guys. So then what you have to understand, guys. Oops. Sorry, guys. So then what we have to understand, guys, is that that person who is having that difficult time should be not pointed fingers. We should not point fingers towards that person to say, you don't believe anymore in what we believe. You are no good. You left us. Sometimes we do this, guys. Sometimes we do that work. Sometimes we do that in our family. We saw that in Brazil recently, and also, I guess, in the USA with the elections. We have there people, families who used to believe in something. They used to believe in the same thing, and suddenly, because of politics, they start to fight. Who used to believe in something. Sorry, guys. They used to believe in the same. So they start to fight, among each other because they believe in something different, now. So we have to understand that once we are able to live in harmony with the differences from the others, even if we disagree completely with that person, we are doing charity. Sometimes, of course, there are some type of disagreements that for us, they are too strong. For us, it's really hard to deal with that kind of disagreements. So instead of pointing fingers, we should maybe step away and say, okay, I cannot deal with this problem, with this question, so I'm going to come here to decide here. I'm not really going to be part of it anymore. So sometimes we have to understand this, that sometimes it's much better to step back, to stay away from the situation for a while, than to be arguing or try to convince the other person. And here it says here to us that all people, here in the icon 14, quite close to icon 15, it says all workers need encouragement, communication from the good spirits, from all sides. The men folk who also take part in society, bringing their help in the form of reading, which are pleasing to all. So the men folk, who they are trying to talk here, who they are talking about here, they are talking about us, normal people. So the men folk, the people, who are not rich, who are not famous, the people who go to the spirit center, the people who go to the church, the people who live their daily lives, the people who lives and don't believe in anything also. But he's saying here that each person here, the normal person, who is simply having a normal life, must do their part. We are not here just to live. We are here to do something. Then we remember the parables of the workers of the last hour. We remember the parables of the workers of the vineyard. Many parables in the gospel, Jesus talks about people referring to them as workers, people who can do something for their society, people who can do something for their fellow beings. So if we come to this life, we must do something. Do we have to save the entire hunger of the world? Do we have to save poor countries? Do we have to go and create the new vaccine of something, of COVID or anything like this? So what I'm trying to say, in order to us to be a good worker, do we have to do great things, massive things that everyone will see? Do we need many thousands of likes? No. What do we have to do? Simple things sometimes, really simple things that society will never see, and the others will never really know what we did, which is trying to be nice to each other, which is trying to be kind, as we said, trying to respect the other's opinion. If you can give something to someone, give with your heart, not only because you want to give to show off. So once you are doing simple things, normal things in your life, you are able to do something. That's what they are trying to say here to us. The normal person, the men folk, the person who are living their lives, they are able because they are workers of the vineyard. They are not important workers from the society's view, but they are important to God. Because who are the important workers for God? The simple people, the people who do their things with their heart. People who are really trying to do whatever they can. And here, we have, as we said here in item 15, it talks a little bit about indulgence. As we said, we ask ourselves, I'm a poor, I cannot do anything. I don't have any power to do anything. If you really open your heart, you will see that you have all the power in the world to do something. Emmanuel, the great spirit who was helping Chico Xavier in his reincarnation, he said, the greatest charity, the greatest help that you can do for Spiritism is to spread the Spiritism. But if you take this phrase of Emmanuel, we can try to make it even bigger. I hope people, they will forgive me with my interpretation, but it's like this. If you say to the world, if you not say to the world, I'm not saying go to a square and start to shout, saying things to people. But whenever you have the chance, whenever you have someone who comes to you and say, Wanderley, can you explain a little bit more about Spiritism to me? You guys believe in reincarnation. Can you explain a bit more? Or if you find a situation where a good word may fit in order to explain something to that person, you are doing charity because you are spreading about the life after death. You are saying to that person, death does not exist. You are saying to that person about reincarnation. And if that person wants to hear, you are explaining a little bit more about the parables of Jesus. You are explaining that we are all universal and immortal spirits who are here to learn on earth. So once you are spreading these ideas, we are doing charity. But, and there is a huge but here, we should not force the others to believe in what we believe. I have people in my family that I tried to explain to them about reincarnation, and I only had troubles with myself, with them, for myself. I only had troubles because they they don't believe. I don't think they will ever believe in reincarnation because they believe in something different. And as I said before in the beginning, when I was learning about Spiritism, I want to explain to people, reincarnation is this, we're going to live so many lives, we are here to progress, we must watch our action and our thoughts. They look at me, what are you saying? I'm just doing what is there in that book, could be in the Bible, it doesn't matter, what the religion they are, but they're just following some instructions given to them. But they're not following with their brain. They're not using their intelligence to follow. They're just following as someone told to them. And Spiritism challenges us to rethink about what we read, about what we listen, about what we say, about what we do. But then someone may ask me, Wanderley, but how can I know if what I'm saying is good? Use a very simple rule, golden rule. For our actions, okay, we can say this: what I'm doing is good for myself, okay, good, happy days. But is it good to the other also? Then we're gonna find what Jesus said: do to the others what would like to be done to you. So whatever we do, if we would like to receive that action, probably it's correct. Whatever we say to someone, once we are trying to give some opinion, once we are trying to help someone, ask yourself, if someone else gives their opinion in the way which that person is giving to me, would I accept? Because sometimes what we do, we go there and say, I'm going to give my opinion because I am an honest person. But you are honest, but you should not be hurting the others with your honesty. Because once you do this, you are in trouble. Maybe you are saying the truth, but the way that you are saying is wrong because you are hurting someone else. So imagine if someone would go and point all your mistakes, all your bad deeds towards you, would you like that to be done? Even if it's true, would like that to be done? Probably not. Why? Even if it's true, the way which that person exposed yourself is not really nice. Imagine if Jesus had done that to the apostles. We have parts in the Bible where Jesus tries to talk to Peter, and when he tries to point out what Peter was doing, but instead of shouting and saying bad words to Peter, he tries to be nice with Peter. He tries to say parables to Peter in order to Peter to rethink about his actions. So if we act like Jesus, once we are judging someone or saying something to someone, and we only say something to someone when it's extremely necessary, otherwise we'll be quiet, because we are here no one to try to show to the others how to live their lives. But if you really must to say something to someone, you have to ask yourself, if I say this to that person in the best way possible, would that help? If does help, yes, perhaps you could say. If does not help, be quiet. If you want to help that person, do a prayer to that person. Send good vibrations to that person instead of be judging that person, you know? So we have to understand sometimes that that's a way of charity also. And as it says here in the item 16, right in the end, you know, by working, for the poor, those who are in need, we are working in the vineyards of the Lord. So then we have to understand that, as we said, we don't have to be trying to do massive things, very glamorous things in order to be doing good. There is a beautiful passage in the gospel when Jesus says to the apostles that when he was in the prison, once he was in hunger, once he was cold, they helped them. And then they asked him, but Master, when did we see you in the jail? Or when did we give food when you were in hunger? And Jesus says, once you did that to the poor, that's for me that you did. So let's say if you don't believe in anything, okay, let's say you don't believe in Spiritism, you don't believe in reincarnation, you don't believe in Jesus, that's all good, because we're not here to try to impose anything to anyone. You don't believe in spirits, you don't believe in anything like this. But if you are helping those in need in a very dignifying way, if you are helping those in need with the purest intention on your heart, you are doing this for yourself because you are accumulating good things in the next life for sure. But you are doing what Jesus said, even if you don't believe in him, because you are doing good to the others. And that's the thing that we have to understand. And one thing that we have to understand is like this. Sometimes we say, okay, I'm just going to do something when I'm ready. But we're never going to be ready to do anything. Never. I remember when I was starting to give my first speech in English, for me it was quite terrible because my English was quite bad. I was still learning the terms related to Spiritism in English. But even though I tried, and the first day I did, I felt so bad because I could see in the people's face that they weren't understanding many words which I was saying because of my accent. I could see in people's face that they didn't have a clue of what I was saying, not because they didn't know about Spiritism, because some people who were there watching, they knew 100 times more than me, but because of the way in which I was talking. Even now, with my accent here, some people may still have some trouble to understand what I'm saying. But then I asked myself, what should I do? Should I stop, improve a lot my English, and then should I start giving speeches? But then I saw a video from Divaldo Franco when he says that even if we don't know how to do yet certain things, we should keep doing if the intention in our heart is good. And I'm not trying to be a good boy here, but my intention at that time was good. I really wanted to talk about Spiritism. I want to learn and I want to pass on what I knew. That was the intention of my heart. That I must say. So then after what I heard from Divaldo, I said, okay, Maybe my English is not the best, but I'm gonna keep trying. Now it's getting better, it's improving. So what I'm trying to say, sometimes we wonder that we're just gonna do good things once we are good. We are never gonna be that good, guys, in order to do good things. If we are living here in this world of expiations and atonements, and if we are here suffering the world, all of us we are not perfect yet. We are not even good yet, but we are trying. And here in the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 13, the item 16, it says this, that we must try to be the workers of the vineyard, even if we are not ready yet, even if we don't have all the capabilities, even if we don't have all the faculties good enough in order to do certain things. We must keep trying. So what I'm trying to say here, guys, is like this. For everyone who is watching us here tonight, if you know how to do something, if you know how to use your talents in order to help someone, could be the Spiritist movement or could be anywhere else, do it. Do not wait for you to be a master of something in order to help someone. Do not wait for you in order to open an institution, to have funds, to have a big name in order to go help someone. We are not saying go on the streets and start to give food to the poor. That's really good and helpful, of course, but as we explained several times here, in Ireland, that's quite hard to do it. Because there are some regulations in Ireland that normal people cannot do this. Only institutions should be doing this. Charity institutions, okay? If you help one person, okay, but if you start to giving, if you go out, let's say with 100 plates of food and start to give to people in Dublin, you may have some trouble with the government here, you know? So even if we cannot do that in Dublin, for example, how can we use our abilities in Dublin? I'm going to give a very silly example. Sometimes we go to social medias, we go to Facebook, for example, and then we see something and we start to give messages with some kind of some bad energies, with some hatred content and something like this. We start to write things that normally we wouldn't say to people, but there on the internet we say whatever we want, because the internet is no man's land. So we just say things that's going to be hurting people, or it's going to be maybe, making people to create bad thoughts or things like this. So what I'm trying to say is this: once you are using social medias, be careful with what you are doing there, with what you are posting, because that's a way of charity also. That's a way of charity that for us is more than normal, because all of us, we are in social medias, at least most of us, and there we can be charitable, we can be nice to the others. If you see a political post that you do not like, do not go there and write bad words. Do not go there and try to even throw more petrol in the fire, as we say. Don't do this. Perhaps if I were you, I wouldn't really give much opinion on that, but that's me. But if you want to go there and give an opinion about your belief, that's fine, but do it gently. Do it without offending anyone who disbelieves in something that you don't believe, who have a different opinion than you. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's something which is quite possible for us to do it, So, and here in the item 16 also, he says to us in the Gospel according to Spiritism, all those who are able to produce should give. Give your talents, inspirations, and hearts, and God will bless you. That's what we are saying. So if you know how to do something, if you are able to do something nice to someone, and if you have some special talents, do it. Produce something. We are now in the social medias where we can produce images, we can produce messages. Some people, I follow some groups on Facebook, on Instagram, where they send messages to us daily, some inspirational messages, from books, from many different authors, with some good messages to us in order to lift up our hearts. So if you like to produce some content like this, do it. You are helping someone. You are practicing charity, even if you're not giving any cent to the poor. because you are going to the web, you are writing good messages, you are perhaps talking about Spiritism, or you are explaining about Spiritism, you are giving, to people some chance to reflect. That's a way of charity also, So he says here to us that many of us who do not use our intelligence and our talents in order to do good, we're going to be held responsible for also. So let's say if you are someone who can do something good to society or to the others, and if you are not doing this, and if you really could in fact have done that in your life, you're going to be responsible also in the end of your life, because you had a talent, and instead of trying to multiply your talents as we have in the parable, what did you do? You were afraid. Use your talent for something else, or you didn't use your talent at all because you were afraid. So my call here, guys, is like this. As I said here many times, do not wait for you to be perfect to do something. Do not wait the right opportunity. Create the right opportunity to do some charitable thing, to do something good to someone. If you see someone on the street, if you don't have any cent in your pocket, try to give a smile to that person. If you have the chance, if you are in a bank, queuing in the bank, and someone is having a bad day and start to have an argument with some staff, do not try maybe to go there and say something, but maybe if you are there in that situation, you can say a prayer, an internal prayer to that person, quiet on your own space, trying to ask support and help from the Spirit to calm down that person. That's a way of charity also. Once you are in the traffic and you see someone fighting with another driver, you can do the same. You can go and send a good vibration to that person in order for that person to try to calm down. All of these things we can do without any cost. We don't have to spend any money doing this. If you have some money, you can go and give. There are so many institutions that they are receiving donations. If you can donate, I don't know, a small amount to an institution, happy days, you can do it. In Brazil, we have so many hospitals who are in need, so many mental institutions who deal with elder people, with drug addicts, people with addiction in general. You can send some money today if you have, but if you don't have, you can go try to give your time in an institution like this. If you don't have an institution like this close to your place, you still can try to do something on your area. I know some friends who are a bit older. They want to perhaps to go and start to work. They want to go back to have a job, and they are really annoyed because they are a bit older. So it's for them it's harder to get a new job. Then instead of using their free time, because they are a bit elder already, they are retired, instead of trying to do something good to the others, they only think about getting another job, which is, of course, it's good, it's plausible, it's understanding. But because they have some spare free time, instead of I don't know, only searching for something, they could give some hours of their week in order to help someone. What I'm trying to say is this: could be an older person, a younger person. If you have some spare hours of your week to give that hours to a good cause. If you have only 1 hour per week to give that 1 hour to a good cause. If in the place that you live has no institutions close by, try to search on the web, try to join groups online where you can be useful. So there are many, many, many ways to practice charity, guys. It's not only giving. That's what this part here of the gospel says to us, And here, in the last part of item 16, the spirits, they say to us, everyone can give. Wherever your social standing, you always find something to share with another. From whatever is that God has bestowed you upon, for whatever God has bestowed you upon, a part of what He has awarded you, It's only to you to lack of the necessities of life, seeing that in their place you would wish others to share with you. Perhaps your earthly treasures will be a little less. Nevertheless, your heavenly treasures will be likewise to be increased. It is there in heaven that you reap 100-fold of all that you have sown as benefits to the others in this world. John Bordeaux, 1861. So what he's saying here to us, if we can, we should give. If we have, could be money, could be time, could be empathy, could be anything that we have, anything good that we possess, and I'm not talking about something material, we should give. Because once we are giving this, we are giving our spare time, we are giving good thoughts, we are giving a smile to someone, or we are giving something to material, it's in heaven that we're gonna see that everything that we gave, we're going to receive 100 times more, because God is just, and we live by the law of action and reaction. So if you are doing good with good intentions, with goodwill from your heart, my friends, there is no mistake in here. You will receive that. So should I just give Wanderley in order to receive? No, you shouldn't. But if you're not able to give yet with your heart, without any kind of ideas of compensation, if you're not able to give 100% from your heart, at least give whatever I said here, give to those in need, because you are helping someone. Maybe you're not going to receive from your own conscience and the good actions that you did 100%, because you were giving with a little bit of interest of what you wanted to do it. But if your intention was good, you are still helping someone. So what I'm trying to say is this: whoever gives here, whoever gives more in this world that we are living here now, we are the ones who are receiving the most. We are the ones who are receiving all the support from the good spirits. Whoever receives, yes, they will receive good things also. But we who are giving our time, our spare stuff, but whatever we are giving, if you are give that with good intention, the spirits, they will never forget this. Because sometimes you are doing something good to someone, and 30, 40 years later, you don't even remember what you did. Maybe that action was quite helpful to that person 30 years ago. Maybe what you gave 30 years ago was nothing for you, but for that person was a lot. And that person probably won't forget the help that you gave. That's why Jesus said to us, whoever wants to be the bigger in the kingdom of God, the most important in the kingdom of God or in heaven, must be the one who serves the most. So here, this part here, we are talking about charity, we are talking about serving the others. So we should try to serve more and ask less to be served. We should serve more, we should try to help more, and not to be asking for someone to serve and help us. Unless, of course, if you are in need, if you are really in trouble, and if you are in trouble, of course, you should ask for help. But what I'm trying to say is this: there are some people in society who only asks. They want to ask, they ask everything, but they don't give anything. If you are doing like this, my friend, whoever is watching us here tonight, be careful and try to rethink your own ways and start giving more than to be asking. And once you start to look around, whatever you have here, you're gonna see that you have much more than many more people. And most of the time, you're gonna see that you probably have something spare to give to someone, something material. If you don't have anything material, as we said, some good conversation, some good words, some polite, some actions which are polite, some polite actions. Sorry, guys. So we are trying to act with kindness to all of us. That's what we are trying to say. And if you guys have any questions, guys, you guys can ask us here. We're gonna do some announcements here just for you guys in order to um, to explain a bit more how we work here. But for tonight, guys, we are done here. We spoke from item 13 from the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 13, item 13, until item 16. We're going to be talking next week about item 17, which is compassion. Okay, guys? So, for those who doesn't know, we have here our studies, Spiritist Studies book, which is every Wednesday. So if you guys want to join, you guys must send an email to spiritismisland@gmail.com, and Nady or Tanya will reply. And then you guys will receive a Zoom link where you guys can participate in the Spiritist book study. Okay, guys? And also, guys, don't forget to keep watching our lives. We have every Tuesday and every Thursday at 7:15, and also every Sunday, 11:15, and also every Wednesday, 8:15, if I'm not mistaken. We have here Stevan, Elsa, Charles. They are talking about Spiritism also, guys. So we have a lot of things going on at the moment, because as you guys know, we do not have any presidential meetings yet because of the coronavirus in Ireland. We don't know when the presidential meetings will take place. We don't know where, if you're going to go back to the same place or not. But once we know a bit more, guys, we're gonna be letting you guys know on Facebook or here in our lives. But for now, we just have these online meetings for now, and we're gonna have our healing now after I think around 8 to quarter half 8, if I'm not mistaken, in our channel, guys. But that's it, guys. If you guys and also, guys, don't forget to subscribe on our channel. And because if you guys subscribe there, we are able to post more Spiritism content there. So if you guys are subscribing and giving your like and your opinions there, YouTube, you understand that you guys are watching and you guys are consuming the contents that we produce here. So please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, guys. And we are very thankful, Solier, to have you guys here. It helps us a lot to keep going, to see that there are some people who are every Tuesday, every Thursday with us, who are participating. We have here Don also. Hi, Don. How are you doing? Thank you very much. I'm glad that you like the talk here today. We are trying to do our best, guys. And we are always asking for your participation, guys. And please forgive us if we say something here that perhaps is wrong. Sometimes not wrong regarding to Spiritism, but maybe regarding to our English or something like this. So please forgive us. If you guys have any questions, you guys can write here or write on our Facebook page, and we're gonna try to reply as soon as possible. And for that, guys, we're gonna be closing tonight. We're gonna be doing our final prayer. So again, I'm gonna be inviting everyone who feel comfortable to close our eyes, to take a deep breath, and tonight we're gonna be imagining ourselves somewhere that we feel safe, somewhere that reminds a good memory that we had. For some people, it will be close to the sea. For some people, will be in their homes when they were little. For some people, this safe place could be close to nature, close to a mountain, in somewhere beautiful. Doesn't matter which place you are imagining. Doesn't matter which place is your safe place. As long as you are there and you are feeling good and safe, we're going to start to imagine ourselves in this place, and trying to perhaps to imagine someone that we have some troubles to forgive, someone perhaps who are dear to us, and maybe that person has done something against us. Let's try to forgive that person. Or at the same time, if we have done something to someone, let's imagine that person and let's try to say to that person that we are sorry. Let's ask forgiveness to that person, whoever that person may be. Could be someone from our family, could be a friend. What we are trying to do here tonight, guys, is trying to use this time that we have in order to try to forgive, or in order to ask forgiveness in this safe place that we are. Remembering that the good spirits are supporting us in order to practice forgiveness, in order to leave what the bad things that we did behind. In this safe place, let's try to get close to that person and hug that person and simply say sorry if you have done something bad. If you were the one who were offended, you simply say it's okay. And learning how to do these things, learning how to forgive and forget, you will see that how our life would be easier and lighter when the trouble comes to us. So we'd like to thank God here for this opportunity to be talking about Spiritism here in Ireland to the friends around the world. We also would like to thank the good spirits for the inspiration tonight. Let's be thankful for everything that we have, even for the troubles that we have. So let's say goodbye to that person, or maybe let's say see you. We're gonna go back here now, open our eyes, and trying to remember how good life is. Hey Nate, how you doing, man? So guys, thank you very much, guys. It's nice to have you all here, guys, tonight. Have a good night. See you guys on Thursday. Take care. Bye bye.